Bonjour, merci, half-board meal plan. If you're planning your first trip to Disneyland Paris and thinking, I'm sorry, am I supposed to understand this? You are not alone. Disney loves using its own little made-up language, and somehow everyone else seems to get it. So today, I'm breaking down and decoding the most confusing Disneyland Paris language, so you can plan with confidence instead of Googling jargon at midnight. And just to be clear, I don't mean French. So let's get into it. First up is extra magic time. It sounds intense. Extra gives you FOMO. Time is a very sensitive subject on a Disney holiday, and it sounds like you need a strategy spreadsheet. You don't. Even if, like me, you're a fan of a loose itinerary, extra magic time simply means if you're staying in a Disneyland Paris hotel, you can enter the parks earlier than everyone else. You can also do it with a gold annual pass, although not the whole park, not every ride, and not a competitive sport. It's quieter, calmer, and a softer start to your day. Think peaceful stroll, not military operation. That being said, you can utilize the time to get a short queue in some of the big hitters if they're open. Crush's Coaster, Big Thunder Mountain, Buzz Lightyear. You get my drift. Next up is park hopping. Park hopping simply means visiting both parks in one day. I have distinct memories of getting a Hopper ticket for both parks in the early 2000s and Hopper from A Bug's Life being on mine. Unlike other Disney parks around the world, at Disneyland Park and Disney's Adventure World, which was formerly Walt Disney Studios Park, park hopping is completely possible. But whether you can park hop or not truly depends on your ticket type. So check, don't assume, and an important reminder, you do not need to park hop to have an amazing trip. Lots of people stick to one park per day, love the slower pace, relax, and have a great time. And given how busy Adventure World's going to be this year, that's not a bad idea. Next up is Disney Village. This one confuses so many first-timers. Disney Village is not a park. It's also not a hotel. It's not a ride. It's the free access area between the hotels and the parks, complete with a selection of restaurants and shops, a multiplex cinema, coffee shops, and all with no ticket required. It's even got a very impressive Lego store, which I would make the journey over there for alone. It's perfect for arrival day, rest afternoons, or when everyone's tired but still wants a bit of Disney. It's also a bit of a building site in 2026, but by the end of the year, it will have a range of shops and restaurants newly renovated for you and your party to enjoy. So please don't skip on Disney Village. It's quite possible to skip over bits of it at the moment, as there's no huge sign back in the day that looks like this. When you come out the train station, that was unmissable. That isn't there at the moment. I'm hoping we'll get something soon. Virtual queue. This one sounds technical. It's not, but it can mean different things across the parks. A virtual queue at Disneyland Paris means you're queuing for a character meet digitally instead of physically. It's not currently done for rides like it has been done in other parks in the US and things like that. Previously, it's just been for meet and greets with limited characters, namely Mickey, Avengers Campus, Spider-Man, Galactic Encounter, and recently, Princess Pavilion. I can't see a world where it's not also utilized for Frozen, but at the time of recording, it's unknown. But on paper, it's great. Instead of standing in line for 90 minutes, you join a queue in the app, you're given a return window, you go back at that time, and you wait for a much shorter physical line. That's it. Some days it works better than others. There are 2 windows to book, and important things to know. You usually need the official Disneyland Paris app. Spots can go quickly for popular characters, so you need to act fast, and you still need a valid park ticket and to be in the park to access it. Remember, it's about crowd control, not exclusivity, and no, it doesn't mean you've missed your chance at the character if you don't get one straight away. It just means you may need a different plan. Keep it loose. Next up is Premier Access. Now this one causes the most panic. Premier Access is a paid add-on that lets you use a faster queue for certain rides. Think of it as skipping most of the standby wait. There are usually 2 options: pay per ride, or a bundle for multiple rides per day. What is it? A time saver, a convenience tool. What it isn't is a requirement. It's not a golden ticket to everything or the only way to enjoy your day. Plenty of guests never buy it and still have brilliant trips, like me. It's there if you're short on time, visiting in peak season, or really want to guarantee certain rides. It's a tool, not a necessity. And it used to be free and called FastPass under Michael Eisner, but that's a topic for another time. Reserved viewing areas, parades, and nighttime shows. This one sounds fancy, and sometimes it kind of is. At Disneyland Park, you'll often see options to pay for reserved viewing areas for parades or the nighttime spectacular in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. And you can do the same for the Cascade of Lights on the lake in Adventure Bay. What this means is you will pay for access to a designated section with a clear view. It does not mean the show is pay to watch, you won't see anything without it, or you must book in advance. It's the best view of the show. Anyone can watch for free. Reserved areas simply reduce stress, remove the need to hold a spot early, and give a more central view which some families love because it's predictable, it's safe. Others are perfectly happy finding a spot 30 to 45 minutes before. We wait an hour before usually. The best view I had was actually from the accessibility area when we travelled with a friend. Ultimately, this one's about comfort, not access, and preference, because now Main Street has projections on it. So don't feel pressured to do it, because you actually do miss the Main Street projections if you get the access there as well. Character dining. This one causes big confusion. Character dining is a meal where Disney characters come to your table while you eat. Sounds good, right? You're paying for an experience, not a Michelin-star dinner. It can save hours queuing for characters as they come to you. This also feels really magical for younger kids and will be a highlight memory, but it's also completely optional and mostly quite unpredictable, as you could go to a character meal and not meet certain characters. So it's best to go into them with little to no expectations and just be happy with what you get. Some families love it. Some would rather spend that time on rides. Both are valid. But if you do a breakfast at Plaza Gardens, you can come into the park before opening and get very quiet pictures with the castle. That's a perk. Table service versus quick service. You'll see these everywhere. Table service means a sit down, order from a menu, food comes to you like a traditional restaurant experience. Quick service means you order at a counter, eat where and when you like a fast food kind of deal. One is not better than the other. It's about energy levels, it's about budget, and how your family prefers to eat. There's no right or wrong. Some days call for a slow and relaxed kind of day. Some days call for a grab it and sit on the curb before the parade starts. Personally, I like to have a hotel breakfast, a table service late lunch, early dinner, and quick service extras as needed. But that's purely dependent on my meal plan. Speaking of meal plans, half board and full board meal plans. This is a big one. This is where most people get confused. A meal plan means some of your meals are included with your hotel booking. And getting this wrong can be costly. I stressed it in my how to book video and I'll stress it again and again because it's happened to me. We went for a weekend, luckily it was just a weekend, and booked Chez Remy, sat at the table, went to pay and scanned the card and they said it wasn't put on our booking, which meant we had to pay for breakfast and dinner. Luckily it was one night. So a half board meal plan consists of breakfast plus either lunch or dinner at a sit down table service restaurant. Full board means you get breakfast, lunch and dinner, and there's a full board plus option, which I think also includes some quick service snacks as well. Personally, I go for half board as a perfect split between prepaid and spontaneous because there are park snacks to explore too. Check out my best snacks under €10 for more details on that. Also, if you're getting lunch or dinner on a meal plan, you only get one drink, you have to pay for more. Your plan gives you a credit or allowance to use in certain restaurants. Some places it's fully covered. Some places you have to top up for an upgrade. Meal plans can be amazing if you like things prepaid, like structure, want to spread the cost, but they can feel restrictive if you don't understand just how they work. They are not essential. Used well, they reduce stress. Used blindly, they create it. Okay, so my final thought. This one isn't Disney vocabulary, but these are important tips. Here's what's important. Disney wording often makes things sound more urgent than they are. Exclusive, limited, essential, full extra. But most of the time, they are optional tools to help manage crowds. You do not need to buy everything, join everything, upgrade everything. You just need to understand exactly what they mean and choose what fits for your trip, your family, your party. And none of this is actually too complicated. But when it isn't explained properly, it makes Disney feel very overwhelming. And it really doesn't need to be. If you've ever seen a Disney phrase and thought, I should probably know what that means, drop it in the comments. Chances are you're not the only one wondering, and I'll decode it for you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's all from DLP Uncovered this time, so I guess I'll see you in the parks.